Hello everyone, welcome back to the C Morning Show right here on C. Today, one of our top story for today, as we know that Indonesian armed forces from the 321 Galuh Taruna Raider Infantry Battalion on duty in Mugiman, Nduga Regency were attacked and shot by terrorist group on Saturday at 4:30 p.m. local time.
And according to PR Division Head of the Cendrawasih 17 Regional Military Command, Colonel Herman Tariaman, the number of casualties is still yet unknown.
And definitely to delve more into this topic, we have here with us in our studio Indonesian Intelligence Institute Director, Bapak Ridlwan Habib. Good morning.
Good morning.
Habib, Mas Ridlwan, thank you very much for
Thank
being
you
here.
for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about this most
yeah.
recent incident about the terrorist group in Papua that attacked the Indonesian armed forces. Who was deployed to rescue the New Zealander pilot that had been taken initially, the Susi Air pilot, by the rebels in Indonesia's restive Papua province? Because up until now, a military spokesperson has confirmed that one person had already died, while the terrorists have claimed more. So there's inconsistencies as well.
Yeah.
We reported on 6 officers that were killed.
Yeah, Paul, as we speak today, this morning, our Army Commander, Yudo Margono, and General Dudung Abdurrahman is on their way to Timika, Papua, to command the rescue operation to this unfortunate event. I think this is very unfortunate because these boys is doing the best for our country.
Yes.
And they still very young. So right now the urgent situation is for the rescue operation. Okay. In the military terms, there is a saying, no man left behind.
Absolutely.
So we should rescue them.
Of course.
Either they're dead or alive.
Right.
Up until now, we don't know yet how many casualties in the ground.
Sorry, if I can follow up, why is it so difficult in order to track our own soldiers' movements within that particular area?
Yeah, they operate in a very high-density jungle, or we call it the high-terrain, deep jungle. So actually this is the problem for us because the KKB Papua is actually live and grow up there.
Right.
So their body is already...
That's their backyard.
Yes, their backyard. So they're familiar with the ground, they're familiar with the animals, they're familiar with the weather.
Right.
But our boys, our soldier, most of them came from Java, came from Sulawesi. So this is different weather, different terrain that make us very setting back.
Right, and also communications, right? Because it's very hard to get signals and whatnot, even though they have
we
all
have to
those
use a satellite GPS
Right.
communication. We cannot use our regular GSM communication.
Right. Now, Mas Ridwan, regarding to this, communication needs to be done now by our government now to the terrorist group. How do you think we should proceed? Because usually we have this soft approach, but now the tension is really quite high with all the casualties that is happening. So what is there, in your opinion, on this?
In my opinion, I think there is enough for the dialogue. I think this is the time for us to do the limited military operation. Of course, this is need to be approved by President Joko Widodo and also communicate with the parliament. So, because this is military operation, up until now, the KKP Papua is considered as a law offender. So, police have the process as a law, justice, prosecution, and the other one. So, but by this event, I think we should propose a limited military operation to the Papua, especially in the Duga region, to apprehend the KKB and to save our boys, to rescue them.
So we mentioned earlier as well about all the challenges that soldiers on the ground have to face in regards to weather, terrain, communications, as well as familiarity of the grounds itself. But could you give us an update? What's the latest that we know, first of all, in regards to the Susi Air pilot, Mark Martens himself? It has been quite a while now that he's been in captivity. And why do negotiations continue to break down? Why does this have to be a physical, all-out search and rescue, as opposed to them just negotiating and perhaps finding out what terms they want in order to release Mark Martens?
The main objective of the KKB Papua is only one, to free Papua.
Right.
So they already violated many times peace agreement, negotiation agreement. So in this case, the pilot is, I think, they use this pilot to bargain to our Indonesian government.
Right.
If we do as what they want, we will be set back.
Yeah.
So as an academic researcher, I propose to the President Joko Widodo for this occasion, let's do the military operation this time. Okay. Let's try this military operation because our boys is ready. We have many professional army. We have Kopassus, Denjaka, we have Marinir. Just say go and they will do the task. But of course, this has to be approved by the parliament, the DPR.
And I think, discussion has already been in talks for years now.
Yep.
I mean, we're seeing the tension goes up and down throughout the years. And it seems that we haven't found any solutions or resolution in regards to the situation in Papua. You were mentioning, Mr. Ridwan, that it's time for a joint military operation right now on the ground. How do you see that would be successful for us, Indonesia, and if we're going to do that approach?
Our main goal right now is to rescue the boys, the TNI, the soldiers in the ground. But in the future time, if we do the limited military operation, we hope that the KKP Papua will settle back and perhaps they will surrender.
Yes.
And then we can go for another negotiation process.
Yeah.
But we have to hit back
Right.
for this time.
Yeah.
Because many of our soldiers in Java especially, they were very angry with this kind of situation. So I hope the military commander, the army commander, Panglima Yudo Margono heard these boys and then do something. And of course, President Joko Widodo, because we cannot deploy on the military until we have a agreement between president and the parliament.
I see. So this has to be approved from the very top in regards to making this a joint operation. Basically, the only way that we can come out on top in this response is strengthen numbers, I suppose, to have more, because we do have a larger military force, and perhaps outnumber them and forcing them to withdraw. Will that bring talks back to the table if this goes as planned?
We hope so, because the KKP Papua, as we know, they have a very advanced guns, ammunition, and unlimited resources.
Okay.
Our intelligence say perhaps there is a foreign intelligence that support them.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure that. So I think with the limited military operation, especially in Duga, will open the fact that actually how KKB operate, and when they have the guns, we can know the data.
Mind you, it's very mind-blowing, right? They're living in somewhat not in the city. They're right there in the mountains and whatnot. Very limited resources and whatnot, but they have all like military equipments ready to like fight back.
Yeah, I was telling you this before. We've seen this sort of pattern before developing. When the United States fought in Vietnam, there were all of the Viet Cong. They were very familiar. They were hiding in rice fields, and people didn't know. It happened again in Afghanistan, where in the desert, suddenly there's soldiers that were completely unfamiliar with their territory. So knowing that, and knowing how unfamiliar that most Indonesian soldiers are not trained to fight a war there or to do any kind of rescue operation.
They're a part of Indonesia anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah, right?
Actually,
Papua
yes.
is a part of Indonesia.
So what will it take to bring these boys home then? What extra skills and knowledge will it take?
As I heard, the military commander already deploy a small group, a very special group from our commando Pasukan Khusus. And this special operation group can apprehend the KKB with our skill, because we know, Paul, the KKB is very familiar with the high terrain, as I speak lately, because they can, for example, they can walk for straight 3 hours, maybe 4 hours, non-stop in a very deep jungle.
Right.
And with the regular basis of the military capability, we cannot do the same. So we have to deploy the special army, especially from commando, to have same capabilities with this KKP.
Better prepared, right?
What about the government officials that are that are rooted from Papua, do they have a special place also? I mean, they would be probably, this is between brothers and whatnot, they can talk to them, they would understand each other more and whatnot. Is this an approach that we've already done before? They've done a lot of soft approach and dialogues. Do you think we needed more of that too?
Yeah, unfortunately, that will not happen because we have another problem with the internal governments in local Papua. As we know, the ex-governor is
Right.
apprehended by KPK for the
Yes.
corruption case, and they already have the bureaucratic problem. So we cannot rely on them to what we call calling back their brothers from the
Yes.
jungle. We cannot rely on them.
All right.
Okay, so again, we know so little at this time, and information keeps coming in. And please do remember, if you do have an information, to make sure you double check it, because
Yeah.
again, some of this information is misleading. What do we know before, in regards to this falsified information in regards to the 6 officers that was actually first announced killed this weekend, but apparently not so?
The KKP Papua have only a cyber unit division, Paul.
Okay.
They also make a fake propaganda.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes, so the international community can have a sympathy to them.
Right.
So we have to be very careful with the information because we know they have a very good connection with the international organization.
Right.
Yeah, and Indonesia is doing all the willpower to save the Susi Air pilot right now.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
hopefully we can be successful, and also to be amongst there within our brothers who are soldiers right now. You know, whether they're victims or not,
Yeah.
we have to bring them back home again, safe
Yes.
land. Yeah.
Thank you, Master Ridlwan, for
Thank
dropping
you.
by.
Welcome.
Obviously, we'll try to keep you all abreast of this situation as well as we get further developments. In the meantime, it's time for us to take another short break. When we return, in case you joined us late, we will recap some of our earlier stories from around the world. Stay with us. The C Morning Show will be right back.